Hey guys, Harrison101 back at it once again for a brand new video for you, and welcome to part 27 of our Formula 1 2011 career mode playthrough, as we are now qualifying in Monza. I love this place. I love Monza. I love the track. I always drive well around here, mainly because it's easy, let's be honest, but you know, Monza is just the epitome of speed, and I love speed in all its entirety and format. So, you know, I just love Monza so much. It's, you know, it's like Genesis for Formula 1 racing, because it's one of the very few tracks that have been around since, you know, since the 1950s. So, yeah, since 1950 when the Formula 1 World Championship first began. I think Silverstone, it might be the only other one on the calendar that's been around since the 50s. I think maybe Spa as well, but it's been mostly unchanged throughout the years, and it's still an amazing track to drive around. And like I said, I set the car up so well for this track, and the car was excellent. But you'll see why at the end. But I just wanted to talk about, in this episode, I wanted to talk about coverage, as in Formula 1 coverage, as many a time I've been asked about, you know, what side of the fence do I fall on, BBC or Sky? As you may or may not have known, back in early this year, Sky bought the coverage rights for Formula 1, so Sky can now broadcast every Formula 1 race of this season live and in high definition. They built their own channel for it, Sky Sports F1 HD, and all that palaver. So the BBC can only air half the races live, so only 10 of 20 can they actually air live. Since now we're pretty much halfway through the season, I say half now, I know it's 20 races and we've only done 9, but I really don't think the Circuit of the Americas is going to be ready by November, so I really think it's only going to be a 19 race season. So we're pretty much halfway in now, so I was thinking, let's review the coverages so far, and let's look at Sky's mainly, because Sky's obviously the ones that are going to stick it like a sore thumb in this situation. I think Sky are doing an admirable job with their first season running Formula 1. Many people are giving them a hard time. At the same time, many people did when the BBC first took over the F1 coverage in 2009 from the ITV guys. And many people gave them a hard time and had question marks. But I think a lot of them were converted by the time the end of that first season rolled around. But I think Sky have done an admirable job, and I think if you're a rookie or if you're new to the sport of Formula 1, I think Sky have done a very good job of explaining the more in-depth things in the sport well. I like that they've done their own channel, but it means they're taking it seriously, and it also means for the first time we actually get a proper weekly Formula 1 program on television, which I think is good enough. I think it's something ITV have tried and failed. BBC have never had the interest to do anything like that. So I think other smaller guys have tried to pick it up, but no one's really paid attention to it. I think now there is a legitimate F1 weekly product on television here. It's called the F1 Show on Sky Sports 1 HD, and it's awesome. I think it's a very good show. Again, like I said, very new viewer friendly, and you know, it's not bad. I mean, some of the guys out there on that team aren't great. I mean, we all know they pinched various talent members from the BBC's team, Ted Kravitz and Martin Brundle being the main two, and Martin Brundle, without question, is the best guy on that coverage team. Kravitz, I was never a massive fan of, but he's done okay. Anthony Davidson's been very good. I was surprised at just how good Anthony Davidson was at breaking things down. He does it very well, you know, explaining things. The only disappointment, I think, the two major disappointments are is that, you know, actually it was more like 3. One, Damon Hill I find boring. I just do. It's like, I don't doubt his knowledge. I think he's a very good pundit. I just don't find him stimulating to listen to. Simon Lazenby is clearly a poor man's Jake Humphrey. I just don't think he's cut out for that kind of coverage. Johnny Herbert's been pretty good though. I like that they've brought him in and he's been a bit more entertaining. I like Johnny Herbert. But overall, I think Sky have done a decent rookie job so far for their season. But I still definitely, without any question, prefer the BBC's coverage. I always have. It sucks that it's not live half the time, because it means you naturally lean towards Sky because they show it live. But if I had the choice and every race was live on both fronts, I would definitely choose the BBC's coverage. A lot of people question Jake Humphrey getting the job as, you know, head, you know, as lead presenter, especially when they could have got Steve Ryder in quite easily from the ITV guys. But they chose not to. They went with Jake, and Jake has done a fantastic job. He just has that anchor role and does it so well. You can clearly see when you watch him, when you see him and the trio of him, David Coulthard and Eddie Jordan, they get along so great. They're a real, genuinely, really nice trio of guys. Clearly, obviously, still very passionate about the sport, very entertaining. You can tell they genuinely enjoy what they do when they come together and host a race at a Formula 1 event. And like I've always said before, I said it before on my Facebook page, that kind of passion and enthusiasm, it comes through on TV. You definitely pick up on it. It resonates with me as a viewer. When they're enjoying it, I enjoy it more too. And just their coverage in general is better. And you'd think it would have gotten worse when they lost guys like Brundle. Ben Edwards is actually a pretty darn good play-by-play commentator. David Coulthard's always been very solid as a colour commentator. But, I mean, David Croft is still probably slightly better on Sky One's coverage, but Ben Edwards has done a very good job as colour commentator. I really didn't think he'd be as good as he has been. A few mistakes here and there, but, you know, it happens. You're only human. But I think the Croft Brundle team is a little bit better. But, you know, I'd happily watch the BBC's coverage. I have no problem with Edwards and Coulthard at all as a commentary team. I know it's not the same having Brundle's, you know, famous grid walks and all that palaver, but David Coulthard's done a fine job there too. Eddie Jordan's always a character, getting interviews with guys, and you know he has great chemistry with Bernie and things like that as well. Gary Anderson has been their new in-depth talker as well. Is in-depth explainer, kind of like the Kravitz role in the pit lane and talking to guys and things like that. He's been very good as well. I mean, he does a great job of explaining things in depth. And you don't need fancy screens and graphics to do a good job. Anderson just shows that, and I think he's a great, you know, in-depth kind of pundit as well. And it's like, you can see that Sky are trying to go with the all bells and whistles approach, and I don't think it works quite as well. I mean, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Georgie Thompson being there. I don't think she knows the sport enough to really pull it off. I mean, they have the eye candy there, you know, and that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're taking advantage of that. Georgie Thompson is a very popular sports broadcaster and journalist, and you know they've got Natalie Pinkham in there doing the paddock kind of interviews and paddock coverage and all that, and she's quite a hot figure as well, and she's alright. She's kind of got that bubbly northern girl kind of personality, and that kind of works too. But it's just like overall, I just prefer the BBC's coverage. I just prefer the entertainment value. The F1 forum is awesome. Just the extra coverage. And the BBC really does go the extra mile with their coverage. And they're all F1 fans. You can tell they're all F1 fans. And they just love what they do. And that definitely resonates with me. And if I'm honest, and I say this as a red-blooded male, I have a massive crush on Lee McKenzie. I'm not the only one. Yemi, if you're watching this, you know you do too. But for just some reason, the more I watch Lee McKenzie, the more I get attracted to her. Maybe it's the Scottish accent. I don't know. I have a thing for Scottish accents. I don't know why. I just do. But if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of my last lap, which you're probably about to see or about to finish watching and all that. And let me know what you think of the coverage situation as well, if you enjoy it or if you don't. If you prefer BBC or ITV, let me know. Let's get some debate going. I love talking to you guys about the situation and things like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching, and sayonara.